as things with the dollar, we have seen some movement. Price is now looking pretty bullish. I was expecting a bit deeper of a retracement for USD this week. Looks like price has found support and it's letting fly at the moment. Ever since we got the breakout on the weekly chart, being very bullish with USD and expecting price potentially to get back to 113. So that's still my long-term bias, kind of my goal for 2025, so to speak. But we do need to stay above this level of support. The moment we break back underneath this, I won't be looking for the breakout back to the highs there anymore. But at this moment in time, solid break of that structure, clearing out this range, which we've been in for about 2 years. Price is finally broken out of that. So I'm looking at a lot more upside for the DXY, for USD, and eventually prices back at 113. So that's been the overall swing, the overall move I'm looking at. However, we did get a really aggressive sell-off on, was it Monday? Yeah, a really aggressive sell-off on Monday. And I was expecting price to come a little bit deeper, maybe take out some of these lows here. I did have a nice area of confluence just below us, retesting this range here, which is the same range I was speaking about last week, hoping for a pullback into that area. Lovely consolidation. Spent a few days there before a really strong break to the upside. So a lot of momentum has come from that area, and it would be nice to come back and retest it since we haven't had a retest of that area yet. So that was the area I was expecting DXY to pull back into before seeing some upside, but looks like we've held support around the 108 area pretty well. And it's safe to say USD is looking pretty bullish at the moment. I wouldn't be too surprised if we were to push back to the highs there. So the deeper pullback may still happen. Maybe price puts a lower high in it and drops back one more time. Maybe a bit unlikely at this moment in time. But yeah, I do expect us to push back to highs. And of course, if we see new highs, the plan continues. New highs created, look for the next pullback somewhere. Maybe it's a retest of the high there. Maybe we're coming back to retest this area. Of course, we'll judge that when the high is created. Then we're looking for the next higher low, and so on and so forth. As long as we keep up this bullish trend, keep respecting higher highs and higher lows, basically respecting the bullish structure, I would expect us to eventually get back to that 113, 114 area. So that's really much the plan. With USD, expecting more upside and higher highs and pullbacks and all that lovely stuff. It's just a bigger pullback I was looking for this week. It doesn't look like it's happening, but it's looking very bullish now. I think maybe intraday, if you're looking at some pullbacks intraday, that could be the one. So if I just get rid of this, I still like this area here because that's kind of like a really aggressive double bottom. Retested the low once, second time, big break to the upside. So could see a retest of that area or even a retest of this range intraday. Something like this, pullback, high, low, and of course, more upside there. So yeah, intraday is looking very bullish. 4 hours looking pretty bullish as well. Would expect price to eventually come back to the highs at 109.5. But yeah, at the moment in time, it looks like we're probably going to see that USD strength continue. So if you're on the lower time frames looking for opportunities that favor that, hopefully we can find some pullbacks at some later stage. If we drop to euro, looks like we're doing the inverse as well. We had a very impulsive move. So again, I was looking for that deeper pullback. Doesn't look like we're quite getting it. I was talking about a retest of this range here. Had a nice confluence with the Fibonacci, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 0.618 in that region. So it would have been nice for price to come back and test it. I mean, it did test the 50. The 50 is proven to be a really sturdy level of resistance there, but it would be nice to come a little bit higher, test that consolidation, test the 0.618 as well, and then get the continuation. But of course, we can't necessarily dictate what the market's going to do to the pip. We can just wait for opportunities to present themselves. When they do, we jump into them. It would have been nice for price to have a slightly deeper correction, but it's looking very, very bearish at this moment in time. So yeah, EURUSD looking like it's falling as well, similar to the DXY. Has left behind some nice intraday zones here as well. So a retest of that area could look good come New York session or maybe tomorrow. I still do like this area here as well. Should we have a slightly deeper correction? But generally speaking, it looks like more downside is pretty likely here. And of course, you got your lows down there as a healthy target of where you're expecting EURUSD to end up at. So yeah, more downside for EURUSD. We're still getting that bearish structure, lower lows and lower highs. This was the high that printed this new low. So again, from a structural perspective, we've got to take out this high for me to completely change my bearish bias with Euro USD. On the weekly chart, we still do have that confident break of this low here, which is why I'm so bearish in euro. And of course, we've got the confident break of the high on the DXY, which is why I'm bullish on the dollar. But again, pretty much mirror image of the DXY long-lasting range for about 2 years. It looks like price is finally broken through the low. So if this is the breakout, where's the next big level? Next big level for us is back down here at 0.96, 0.97. So that is where I do expect Euro USD to end up, which of course lines up very, very well with the bias and the technical analysis with the DXY. So very bearish on Euro. As long as we maintain this bearish structure, I do see a lot more downside. And looks like we're getting a continuation of that now. So yeah, if you're on an intraday level, I would keep an eye for the shorts. Maybe some pullbacks come New York session could come around. But yeah, more downside this week is looking pretty likely. And of course, this is the story throughout the USD majors. If I jump over to pound USD, we're seeing the same kind of pattern as well. Nice little double top from yesterday. Price respected it. Really strong drop to the downside. Some consolidation / corrections overnight. And now we're seeing London session give us that kick to the downside again. So come New York, maybe you could be looking at something like this and expecting more downside. You've got the lows there to target. If I expand to the 4-hour chart, I was looking for, again, a slightly deeper correction for pound as well. My analysis was pretty much the same as euro. Again, drawing the fib from the high to the low. Because, of course, this is the high that gave us the new lows, which broke through the low there on the left. So I was looking for the deeper correction, retest that zone there as well with the 0.618. And again, looking for the continuation. So pretty much identical to euro setup, but again, they've just been very, very bearish. USD's been very strong the past 24 hours, and that's just caused us to completely sell off there. This one didn't quite tag the 50 as like euro did, but yeah, it's looking very bearish. And I think if you're looking to trade this, you probably want to be on an intraday time frame, because the swing entries might have left. Maybe we do have one more deeper pullback, like I said. Maybe the DXY still does push to that zone at 107. Maybe pound USD does still give us that bigger pullback and then the drop. Maybe Euro USD still does that. Of course, with trading, you never know. You just got to stay on your toes, plan your trades, and trade the plan essentially. And this is the zone you're looking to short from. It potentially still could get hit. We still could get a deeper correction. You don't want to rule that out completely. But of course, with current momentum, and if you are on an intraday level, kind of looking to take those shorts until proven otherwise, really. So that's the thinking with Euro USD and pound USD. In terms of dollar CAD, same thing as well, but I'm wanting a much deeper correction for this one. Again, longer term, still do expect to see a push back to 1.46, which is back at these highs here. So long way to go. Major rejection at this area, one over there, second over there. And now we're looking for a third, since we did get that major breakout of this level of resistance back here. And that's the next big level I expect price to go and test. So very bullish on the dollar CAD. And as I've been saying for the past easily 3 weeks, maybe even month now, to be honest, a retest of this zone looks really, really good, but the market is nowhere near that. If I whip out a fib, similar setup to pound USD and euro USD, looking for that deeper correction into the 0.618, lines up very well with this zone. Would have been a nice opportunity to get long from that area. Same with pound, same with euro, but looks like the bulls are stepping back into USD, and maybe we might just push on. Of course, not to rule it out, we still could get that deeper correction. Just because we're looking pretty bullish now doesn't mean we can't turn around. We do have NFP on Friday. That could throw a big curveball very, very easily, and we could still see a weak dollar potentially. If the fundamentals call for it, we could definitely see that. So I'm not going to rule that out. There's still that possibility for that deeper correction. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on it, just like I've been doing for the past few weeks. But again, with dollar CAD, if we don't get that bigger setup down that major swing trade, then the focus shifts back to this high. And if we were to go and break through that, then of course you've got some nice opportunities on the retest and finding some high lows there to continue the momentum. Because right now we've had a really big swing pretty prolonged consolidation there. This might be a fake to the downside, taking out these lows here. And now potentially price might be ready to continue to the upside. If so, wait for the break of structure. Could be some nice longs in the retest. And again, look to ride it back to that 1.46 area should we not get that deeper correction into 1.415. So there's two ways to look at it. This is the one I'm really interested in. Just have to wait patiently to see if it will happen or not. In terms of Aussie dollar, of course, this one was pretty bearish as well. USD strength really taking control of the USD majors yesterday. Nice push to the downside. Did we tag that first area? Maybe just missed it. Yeah, just quite missed it. Yeah, I've been looking at a couple of areas for Aussie dollar, including this one here as well. For price to see that next lower high, been very, very consistent with all of these lower highs. And the plan was to keep expecting more of the lower highs again until proven otherwise, until we start breaking structure. Seeing consistent high lows, that's when I'll reinvestigate. But again, don't want to rule it out for Aussie dollar. Potentially could still see that deeper correction come at any point and still see a move down. I'm very bearish longer term for Aussie dollar, at least till we take out this wick low here. A lot of liquidity underneath that low. I do expect that to go up pretty soon. I still do think there's a deeper pullback to be had with Aussie dollar because the market is still very stretched. We've had a really big sell. I think it's from September. Yeah, end of September, we had a really big drop. So the market is still pretty oversold. So I think if we do take out this low here soon, probably will get a deeper pullback. I still think the bigger move is lower. If we go to the weekly chart, I do think eventually we're probably coming back down to the COVID wick of 2020. But we might go for a deeper correction, see one of these major lower highs form somewhere, and then we continue falling. But yeah, Aussie dollar very bearish, expecting more of the same. Again, still would like to see a bit of a pullback. Again, I know we had it yesterday, but a slightly deeper one would be nice. And then, yeah, still expecting more downside. New Zealand dollar, exact same situation as well. Nice push to the upside, but still didn't really give much of a pullback, really. This was the last major high, really, for New Zealand dollar, which gave us this low. It would be nice to see a healthy correction of that swing. So again, these are the areas I've been mentioning with New Zealand dollar, retest of that consolidation, even better, retest of this low here. These are the areas which I want to see price pull back into to find some shorts and expect more downside. And again, similar to Aussie dollar, there is a major low on the daily chart, which I'm expecting price to go and take out pretty soon, which is the low here at 0.55, basically on the dot. And again, not too far away from that zone there as well. So maybe there's just a lot of bearish momentum in the market right now. We had a really strong drop not too long ago, and maybe we're just going to see price kind of just spill over naturally of that. But it would be nice to see a bit of a pullback, find the next lower high. We've taken out some really big structures on the left over here. So I do expect to see price at least have some type of correction of that and continue, or maybe we just keep falling. But yeah, didn't mean to do that. So yeah, that's still very much the plan there with New Zealand dollar, expecting a lot more downside with this one, but have to be patient. And if we go take a look at gold and silver, yeah, gold's still not a big fan of. I have no idea what price is doing. It looks like it's slowly pushing to the upside because we're putting in some consistent high lows in now. So it looks like we are slowly doing something like this maybe. But again, it's not something I'll look to trade. I'm still treating this as basically consolidation, equal highs up there, more or less equal lows down there. These look like fake outs to me. So potentially we could see gold do something like that. It's nothing high probability or something that I'll look to trade in my plan or setup that I see. As I keep mentioning, this is the level which I would like to find some entries at for gold. Of course, we're nowhere near that. It doesn't look like we're getting there or getting any closer. So probably no setup in that regard. But the bigger move for gold for me is still likely back to the highs here at 27.90. So still expecting more upside with gold. Still expecting more upside with gold, but I have to be patient, wait for price action to clear up, and then can find an entry somewhere to get in. But don't really have an update, don't really have a setup I'm eyeing up. If you are looking to trade gold, I don't mind this area here since it has proven to be a very solid level of support. Someone's trying to call me. Apologies. But yeah, price is looking like it's faked that level a few times. So if this is going to remain as support, there could be a nice move back to the high there. So that's the only kind of opportunity I see on gold. Otherwise, I would stay away. Silver, on the other hand, I do actually quite like a lot. It's formed a really nice double bottom this week. As you can see, we tested that low very, very well. And a really nice push to the upside, taking out the highs there as well. So in my book, silver is looking like it's getting ready to see the next major high low on the daily, weekly chart. You know, this is still the major swing I'm looking at. You've got the low there, you've got the high over there. And if I whip out the fib, we've had a pullback, healthy pullback, more or less into that 0.618. And I'm expecting us to start to see the swing back up again. So what I'm looking at for silver now is some higher lows forming, and then I'll be looking to trying to find the next one after that to see if I can get into an entry and swing it back to the highs. Of course, I'll keep a very close eye on this area since that is a very strong area of supply, really strong drop to the downside. And of course, that was the last lower high, which gave us that sell there. So I definitely want to watch out for that. But should price break through that as well, then I think there's a high probability that silver just continues to swing back to the high at 34.9 and beyond. But these are the opportunities I'm eyeing up for silver. So keeping close eye on that. And the double bottom looks like price has just put its high low in. So yeah, very, very bullish on silver.